Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to the Zio Sabah, nuclear proliferation experts are warning that the international community's intense focus on Iran's enriched uranium facilities might be creating a defense blind spot, allowing a second potential nuclear weapons pathway to go unnoticed. This alternative route involves extracting plutonium from spent fuel at nuclear reactors, like the Iraq Heavy Water Reactor and the Bushehr nuclear power plant. Some experts suggest that Iran could theoretically accumulate enough plutonium from these facilities to produce over 200 nuclear warheads, while one expert downplays the immediate threat, citing Iran's lack of full technical capability for plutonium weapons and the difficulty of secretly reprocessing reactor-grade plutonium. Others, including a former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense, emphasize the need for enhanced monitoring by the IAEA, especially given current low inspection frequencies. Experts are therefore urging the U.S. government to ensure any future nuclear deal with Tehran encompasses long-term monitoring and restrictions on these plutonium-related facilities, not just enriched uranium. NBC News reports that British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party faced a historic drubbing in recent UK local and regional elections, resulting in sweeping gains for the hard-right Reform UK, led by Trump ally Nigel Farage. Labour lost hundreds of local councillors across England, experiencing humiliation in its traditional heartlands. The party was squeezed by Reform, the populist left-wing Green Party, and anti-establishment independents driven by anger over Gaza. In Wales, Labour lost power for the first time, with Plaid Cymru taking the lead and Reform coming second. Starmer acknowledged the very tough results, but dismissed calls to resign, vowing to deliver promised change despite voter unhappiness. However, some Labour MPs are already openly calling for his resignation or a leadership contest. The scale of Labour's losses was epic, particularly as Reform gained hundreds of local council seats in former Labour strongholds in England's north. Farage hailed this as a truly historic shift in British politics, declaring Labour was wiped out by Reform in many of their traditional areas. These elections, though not a general election, symbolize a clear break from Britain's post-war two-party system, which saw power alternate between Labour and the Conservatives. Both mainstream parties were hammered, with voters turning to insurgents like the Greens and Reform, as well as regional parties like Plaid Cymru and the Scottish National Party. Starmer faces additional pressure from a controversial ambassadorial appointment and numerous policy U-turns, leading experts to believe his tenure as Prime Minister may be short-lived. NHK reports that Peter Magyar has been sworn in as Hungary's new Prime Minister, marking the first change of government in the Central European nation in 16 years. Magyar's TISA party won over two-thirds of the seats in the April parliamentary election, ousting longtime Prime Minister Viktor Orban. In an address to lawmakers, Magyar emphasized his mandate to open a new chapter and stressed his intention to rebuild the country's sluggish economy. His swearing-in ceremony in Budapest was attended by approximately 80,000 people. Magyar is expected to focus on mending ties with the European Union, which had suspended funding to Hungary during Orban's tenure due to concerns over corruption and a lack of judicial independence. He is also believed to seek the resignation of the president appointed by the previous Orban government. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, announced on May 8, 2026, its decision to establish an ASEAN Maritime Center to maintain security, freedom of navigation, and order in the South China Sea. The announcement was made during the 48th ASEAN Summit in the Philippines, with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. emphasizing the need for a central body to manage and monitor maritime issues given the unpredictable situation in the region. The Philippines has offered to host the center. This initiative aims to prevent scenarios like the impassable Strait of Hormuz, which severely impacted oil and fertilizer supplies. ASEAN also plans to create a joint fuel reserve mechanism to mitigate energy crises, allowing member states to access emergency supplies during wartime blockades. Other measures include updating the ASEAN Petroleum Security Agreement and accelerating the ASEAN power grid while reducing reliance on fossil fuels. This news comes from the Epoch Times. The unemployment rate for information technology jobs in the U.S. climbed to 3.8% in April, up from 3.6% in March, as the tech talent market continues to face pressure from AI-related layoffs. This contrasts with the overall U.S. economy, which added 115,000 jobs last month, mainly in retail, transportation, warehousing, and healthcare, with the total unemployment rate holding at 4.3%. However, the information sector shed 13,000 jobs, marking it as a significant shadow zone in the employment landscape, according to Janco Associates' analysis of U.S. Department of Labor data. Major tech companies like Meta, Nike, and Snap have publicly attributed recent workforce reductions to AI integration and efficiency drives. The broader IT sector has seen a decline of about 11% in employment since its peak in November 2022, representing 342,000 lost jobs. While demand for AI skills remains strong, employers are hesitant to invest heavily in high-salary AI experts for projects with unproven results. AI literacy is fast becoming essential for digital transformation roles, yet entry-level positions are increasingly being replaced by AI tools, favoring experienced professionals. IBM, however, plans to double its hiring of university graduates, seeing AI as a force for job content evolution rather than elimination, ultimately leading to greater efficiency. This report is from Vonghwang. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.